Welcome back to Ask Sloan, everybody.
Sponsored by Zentavos. Keep more of your money.
Welcome back to Ask Sloan, everybody. Of course, I'm Sloan, and I'm sitting here today with Jaime Sosa, real estate agent for Houston and the surrounding areas. Been in the game for 5 years, out there crushing it, and we are praying that the market comes back in 2026 here in the last quarter. Right? Come on. We would love for the market to do itself a turnaround. Do you see that coming pretty soon?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a couple years. I think it'll be a couple years, but I think people, like you said, you have to adapt to the current situation. You can't say, oh, yeah, like I've had clients who think the market's going to drop and they're going to be able to buy a cheap house. I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening anytime soon.
It's not happening.
No.
Yeah.
So I think you have to adapt to the timing. And like you said, you got to look ahead and kind of just the same way you do in finance, kind of project what's it going to go. You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. I think a lot of the volatility in the real estate market over the last 5 years has been like induced, right? Like nobody saw the pandemic coming, and then the pandemic actually created like this huge bubble in the market. Everybody moved. Like everybody moved, right?
It was the time because you were getting crazy rates.
Crazy rates. Everybody had a bunch of money in their pocket from stimulus, and everybody was so afraid of how everything was going to be that they were changing zones because of politics, or they were changing zones because of family, or they were changing zones because of jobs. Like there were so many reasons people needed to move during that 2 years, and the market just went crazy. And that's when Houston, and then inflation, right? On top of that, Houston has never seen the increase in value in homes ever that quickly in its lifetime. Like we're a pretty like steady little whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, boom! I mean, I bought a house for $405,000 in September of 2019. Okay,
You got it. So I bought mine in December of 19, right before the market went crazy.
Right before. So then pandemic came out in March.
Yeah.
Okay. I lived in that house for 2 years. Okay.
Still have it?
No, I had, because I lost all of my income during COVID. Right. So I was not what was considered.
You weren't honestly able to afford it no more.
Well, I wasn't, no, I didn't have any, I had no money, right? Like I had no money, and I was borrowing money to live. But I wasn't able to secure enough money to make the mortgage in time. It's actually kind of a little bit of a long story, but like accounting and taxes was not essential. We were not an essential worker. And in fact, none of my clients were in business. So they didn't need accounting or taxes. Like taxes aren't even due. We're going to push them out. So like I literally didn't make money for at least 2 years. And so I didn't secure my loans fast enough to kind of fix that scenario. And I ended up selling my house in October of 2021.
You made money though.
That's the thing. I bought for 405.
You probably sold for
520.
No, I was gonna say 525.
And that is the top of the market. Like it just sold for I think it just resold now for like 540.
Yeah.
So they technically lost money because they had to pay commission on selling there for 540. So it only went up $20,000 in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I went up $115,000 in value
2 years
from when I bought it in 2 years. And Houston's never seen a gain like that. It was more than 20% of the property.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you got lucky. You bought it at the right time. And nobody seen that coming. And you didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. But you got lucky that how many people buy houses and okay, now let's look at it. The same individuals who bought your house and sold it.
Oh, no, they lost money.
They did because the houses went up and they overpaid because I'm pretty sure on your house, for example, I'm sure you had over 10 offers at least.
We didn't get into a bidding war.
You had enough offers where you could pick the highest one.
Yeah, I have multiple offers. Yeah.
And the problem is that a lot of people now, they're kind of, the market hasn't adjusted yet for what they paid. Yeah. So it's actually, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because they got a good interest rate, but it's a curse because if they were to sell right now, they have they're not gonna make the same money.
Well, and it's a curse for me too because I can't buy that same house for $405,000.
Oh
anymore.
no, that house right now is probably the
Six.
same model. Yeah,
Six.
600.
It's 600, bro.
Yeah.
So it's a curse for me too because I was in a great value home.
Yeah.
Right. All that in the bag of chips, but because I had to get out of it, now for me to get that same home for my family is going to cost me, like 1.5 times. You know what I mean? So like I have to be earning quite a bit more money than before to be able to even afford the same house. So it's kind of tough.
And you know what's crazy? That payment, your payment on that house, let's say 400,000, you put regular down payment, your payment's probably $3,000, 2,800 a month.
It's about $2,800 a month, yeah.
And then now,
That's
if you were to go buy the
45.
same house, a $600,000 house with the 20% down, you're talking about 100 something. Payment's close to $5,000 a month with the rates nowadays.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So it's like, man, how do you can afford it?
It's terrible, bro. It
Yeah.
is. It's terrible. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think for sure, the market has not fully allowed itself to stabilize. It's like you said before, it's still waiting for another drop. It thinks that a drop is coming.
Yeah.
And
What are rates at right now?
It's been stagnant, right? It's been just flatlined, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't gone down, hasn't gone up really.
No, right now it's actually a buyer's market because I've seen that houses have been sitting longer and people who thought, oh, my house is worth this much. Well, you got to run the comps. If your neighbor sold for $100,000 less than you, what makes you think you're going to get $100,000?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, and that's why people are holding out. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold out, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking 2-3 years before it kind of corrects himself, where rates drop enough to where it creates activity, but it's still you're not gonna be able to, like you said, you can't find the same house. You're never gonna find it for the same price.
That's what I think though, man. I don't think rates are gonna drop.
They might drop
They may
a
not
point.
go up, but I don't really see them going down.
I had a client the other day that were approved and they were like 5.8.
Okay.
So I could see rates going down to 5.2, but I don't see the 4.75. I don't see the lower, like the low fours. Yeah, that ain't coming back.
Man, bro, it's some really serious stuff has to happen for that to work.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't to the point where people lose houses now. But yeah, it won't.
Bro, it's looking like a 2008 crisis pretty soon, man.
I don't think so. So if you really pay attention, 2008 crisis, they even had that movie on it. It was because of the bad loans that were given out.
Yeah.
And the market.
It was the subprime market.
Yeah.
So you think the subprime market is healthy?
It's harder. Right now, think about it. For somebody to qualify for a $500,000 house, you got to make money.
Got to.
You have to be making, let's say 2 people working, you got to make over $200,000 a year.
Yeah, there's no liar loans.
Yeah, there's no, so nobody can go buy the loan, say, oh, I want a $400,000 house and they're on one income, they got 2 car notes, and on paper you're like, well, shit, you can't afford it. So they're not going to qualify. That's what I tell people all the time. And I try to explain to clients, and I ask little questions. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm just trying to get an idea of what you're going to qualify. Because if you tell me y'all each have $1,000 car note, y'all each make $5,000 a month, plus you got 1,000 in credit cards, right there, them car notes and that is gonna throw you out the bracket where you're not gonna qualify for that $400,000 house, $350,000 house, because when they do the math for the lending, they look at your debt to income ratio.
Absolutely.
So with that new house payment, and you're over on the FHA, I think it's like 57%.
Yep.
Well, you have $1,000, $2,000 car notes plus credit cards and this and that. Well, shoot, you're only gonna be qualified for $2,000 a month, and $2,000 a month is only going to get you a $200,000 house.
And that's in Houston these days. That's going to be a townhome in the hood.
Well, it's going to be.
I mean, it's true, bro.
It's going to be an older house, and it's going to be an older neighborhood.
Yeah,
it's not bad, honestly, but it's not going to get you that real nice newer neighborhood. With the community pool. It's going to give you,
and you're gonna live out. I mean, you're gonna live out past the Beltway.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you're not inside,
bro.
Yeah, you're not. You're either gonna be by Porter 59. You're gonna be in Humble area, or you're gonna be in Baytown. I'm not talking mess, but
no,
you're not gonna be
That's how far
And
out
that
Houston
nice.
has grown.
Oh man,
Like,
Houston,
it's crazy.
Houston. I want to say land wise, Houston is number 1 in the country.
No kidding.
Yeah, land wise, as far as what's considered Houston surrounding areas, it's Houston's bigger than New York and everything. But
Wow.
population wise, I think they're maybe third, right? With
we were
third
fourth
or fourth.
most of my life. If we've moved into third now, that's
I think it's
happening.
there. I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah,
there,
might
and
be.
it's just the fact that it's so big, man.
So
like
big, bro.
you move, you could drive in Houston an hour just to go across town. With
Yeah,
traffic,
yeah, more than that.
I went to I had a listing one time, and I went in the afternoon, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it. I did, checked it on the maps, and it showed an hour and something. I'm thinking like maybe I'll go a little faster. Man, it took me longer. By the time I hit traffic, that 45, 50-minute trip turned into an hour and a half, almost an hour 45.
Man.
I'm like, man, that.
And God forbid there's a wreck, bro.
Oh, that's.
Oh,
I swear, man.
goodness.
Houston drivers are horrible. They can be wrecked on the other side, and people are slow looking at what's
Trying
going
to tell
on.
you, rubberneckers, man. Like, hey, it ain't that cool.
No,
like, keep
heck
going,
no.
man. Crazy. No, you're totally right. You're totally right about that. So yeah, me and my wife, that's the one thing we're really excited about is kind of building our next home. But it's going to be a couple years before we can do it. Like I always got to come with 20%.
Are you renting
down.
right now?
We are renting right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you can afford it, I tell people, this is advice that I give clients a lot. And I always tell them, man, find you a fixer-upper. Find you something that's a decent house that you could see dropping a little money into it, because that's where the value is in real estate when you buy value add. And I'm not saying like a ghetto house that's all tore up. Just something that, maybe the kitchen's
dated.
outdated.
Yeah, it's dated.
Or
You need to
there's a
redo the
wall
master
separating
bath.
kitchen from the living room.
Take the wall
Dude,
out.
knock the wall
Yeah.
out. Put an island on there that kind of goes in between, right, gets into the living room. And trust me, it feels good. Me personally,
yeah.
I could live in the ghetto. Lower taxes,
100,
cheap
bro.
note.
100.
Honestly, but like I tell people, if you're raising kids, you don't want to raise them in the ghetto. You know what I mean? You want,
for sure.
And you want to be in
Everybody
a
wants
nice area,
the right
better
schools,
school district.
right?
Because I'm
Yeah,
telling you what,
yeah.
good school districts in a nice neighborhood, it makes a difference for your kids' education.
Well, and that's the thing too about Houston. And I just laugh about it. There ain't nothing wrong with the ghetto, bro. There are amazing people in the ghetto. Like that's just what it is. And Houston's not zoned, right? So like we have, like all of Houston's the ghetto and none of Houston's the ghetto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just everywhere. But I agree that lower economic areas are ripe for development and value, right? There's a lot of value there.
Man, you could, like, if I was in your situation, just my opinion, and I'm renting, I would be like, okay, we can find something, something we can remodel, nice, calm neighborhood. You can remodel. Because think about it, I tell people all the time, you pay rent for 5 years, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You think the landlord's going to throw you a party when you move out? No, you just paid rent. Everybody pays rent. So it's not no special thing.
No.
But if you buy it, at least like your situation, you bought the house, stuff went south, and you had to sell, unfortunately. But the good thing is you made money.
Yeah.
So if you would have been renting, you would have just pretty much, I can't afford it. Let me pack up my stuff and go. And you're not going to make no money.
It would have been much
you
harder.
sold,
Yeah.
and it sucks the situation, but dude, you made some money off of it.
No, it went well. And, I sold like 2 days after the 2-year mark. So that whole gain was completely tax-free.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it had to be 5 years.
2 out of the last 5 years.
Uh-huh.
It has to be your primary residence for 2 of the last 5.
Okay.
So technically, you could live in it for 2 years, rent it for 3, and still sell it within that window and tax-free.
Yeah,
if you're married, filing joint, $500,000.
Yeah, if your joint, it's $250 a pop, joint's $500.
Yep.
And I can't remember if I always thought it was 5 years where you don't pay no capital gains tax.
2 out of the last 5, it has to be your primary residence. You have to live in it.
Yeah, so you
As
can
your
say,
primary
hey, we're
residence
going to
for
close
2.
next month just to push it out.
Well, I mean, like you could live in it for 2 years, and then you could rent it for 3.
Okay.
And just as long as you sell it within that 5-year window, and you lived in it for 2 at least, 365 is like 730 days.
Yeah.
So 731 days. You got to live in it for 731 days of the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you can live in it for 731 days and then rent it out for
3 years
for 3 years, but minus 1 month.
Yeah.
And sell it in that last month. I've seen it. I've actually had clients that did that they moved to Florida, rented the home out for 1 to 2 years. I think about 2 years
just
after,
to save taxes,
and then sold it. Well, they just didn't want to sell it right away. They wanted to earn some income on it. They weren't sure if they were going to live in Florida forever. Like it was just,
yeah.
it kind of worked out that
So
way.
every situation is different, man.
Right. But, it's a great tax-free model
Mm-hmm.
to buy a home, live in it for 2 years, sell it. You can make $500,000 as a married couple every 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
tax-free.
If you buy right.
Well, no, that's your opportunity. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
of course,
You have to.
Of course,
you have to.
It's location.
Yeah.
It's buying the right remodel. It's understanding that gap. It's actually pretty difficult to make a $500,000 gain
Mm-hmm.
on a home in Houston. I mean, you have to be buying.
You have to
jumbos.
buy you'd have to buy something in Heights where you're paying for the land,
Mhm.
to where you
Yep.
could drop. But then you're talking about different animal. You're dropping 300-400 down a rehab, knocking it down, or adding, whatever. But to the point where you spent 300-400 grand, sold it for $1 million, or let's say you sold it close to $1 million, and you can make the money. It's doable if it's the right property. And
Yeah.
that's what I tell people.
No, it's difficult. It's
Yeah.
doable, but difficult. So
it's doable. Difficult.
So any gain between 200 and 500,000 tax free for 2 years. I mean, if you're a real estate couple, that is a great strategy to
Mhm.
earn tax free income.
Well, that's the key. Y'all have to both be on the same page.
100.
Because if one person has one idea, and a lot of the times the wife's like, I don't feel like going through that, this and that. But if you're both on the same page and got the same goal, it's easy to reach that goal.
Absolutely.
Versus one person has the goal and one person is enjoying life. Well, you're never going to reach the goal, either goal, because at the end of the day, y'all have to work together, and that's the main thing. That's what I tell people all the time. I say, look, as long as y'all get on the same page and stick to your plan, anything will happen. You'll get to that goal, but y'all have to be on the same page.
Absolutely. How long you been married?
20, going on 22 years.
Nice, bro. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit 21 January this year,
Yeah.
so going on 22.
I have to look at the dates, but
That's awesome,
we're
bro.
there.
Hey, we got married on January 1st, so I can't lose.
Oh, nice.
I
Nice.
remember every time.
Yeah.
We kiss at midnight, right? At New Year's.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, marriage, people say, oh, how do you stay married so long and this and that? I tell people all the time, it's not lovey-dovey. You have to be friends and get along as friends to make the marriage work. Because it's not always lovey-dovey. You work, she works, you're tired. Sometimes you do stuff for her that you don't want to. She has to do stuff for you that you don't want to. So a marriage is two people working it out together, getting on the same plan, and honestly, it's supporting each other, because if you don't support the other person, well, shoot, how are they going to make it to whatever they want to accomplish? You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I just had my wife on the podcast. We did a whole hour on how to make your marriage last. I mean, it's you hit the nail on the head. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what I like to say is it's not flowers and fluffy bunnies.
Oh,
right?
no.
Marriage is a journey.
How many times I wanted to choke my wife
Right?
just because you're like, man, but same thing with me. How many
likewise
times?
her.
How many times I
does she
pissed
want-
her off?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
it's you got to realize sometimes, hey, I'm wrong. I apologize. She has to realize she apologized. And you're not always gonna agree. Sometimes I have to tell my wife when I don't want to argue. I say, we'll just agree to disagree, and that's it. Leave it at that.
That's got to be the end of it.
Yeah,
right?
and
Like,
just leave it at that. I tell her, look, I don't feel like we'll figure it out, and that's it.
yeah, like we're not going to, and we don't always need to agree.
Yeah, you don't.
I
You
don't need you to believe me. I just need you to drop it.
Yeah, sometimes, because think about it. You have two people who have different point of views.
Yeah.
I have a point of view, and she has a point of view. I'm strong. So like your opinion, I'm strong on my opinion. If I believe something and I see it that way, and I'm gonna stick to my guns, and you're not gonna change me. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? I'm wrong. I messed up.
Absolutely.
It takes a man or it takes a woman to admit they messed up. I apologize, and let's move on. And that's it.
Absolutely. I did that to my wife like 3 times this weekend. She's like, we were at Best Buy last night. I'm looking for a cord, right? And I want an Apple cord, okay? Because it's going to last. I've bought plenty of cheap cords and they just don't, I just can't handle it. So I'm
You
looking
don't go
for
to
an
Ross
Apple
and get
cord.
the $6.99 cords.
Man, I've tried those. And so anyway, so we're there and I'm like, man, where are these Apple cords? And my wife's like, they're right over there. And so I look where I think she's pointing. It's not where she's pointing, but I look where I think she's pointing and they're not there. And one of the workers from Best Buy said, hey, how can I help you? And I was like, hey, I'm looking for some Apple cords. And she's like, oh yeah, they're right over there. And so we go over there and my wife's like, I just told you that. And I was like, oh, babe, but I didn't know you were pointing over here. So how'd you know that anyways? Like, when was the last time you were at Best Buy? I didn't remember seeing that on the Amex. Like, it was so funny. I had to apologize. I was like, babe, I'm so sorry. Then we're right over, then we're like in line trying to check out. And Dyson, you know, the company makes a vacuum cleaner. Apparently they got these like oscillating fans that look real weird. It looks like to me like the O light for podcasting, you know, light, right? Or selfie light, the O ring, whatever thing. Anyways, so I'm like, really? Like those are fans? You know what I mean? So we get up to the counter and I asked the lady behind the counter, I'm like, hey, are those over there? Are those fans? She's like, yep. My wife's like, again? Like again, bro? Like what's going on? I'm like, oh, babe, like, are you kidding me? Like, I didn't doubt you. Yeah. I'm just like, really? Those are fans? Like, I couldn't wait. So it's kind of funny. So I put my foot in my mouth a couple of times over this weekend.
Yeah.
How many kids you guys got?
3.
We do 2, 3 girls. So well, congratulations on that. That's beautiful. Love, family. And how is that? Are you talked about being on the same page. What does your wife do for a living? My wife's a nurse practitioner. Okay. Awesome. So you guys are aligned in your career goals, in your career path, and that kind of works out. It didn't, trust me, when we got married young, we had the kids, and I've done a, jack of all trades, master of none. Sure. You know what I mean? I've tried this, I've tried that. And up to this day, that's still stuff that I want to do. But at the end of the day, you never know what's going to hit. You know, some stuff hits, some stuff doesn't. And it might be for a season, you know what I mean? But the one thing I'll tell you, my wife, she's never told me, no, don't do this, you're wasting your time. She's always supported me in everything I do. And then one time I asked her, I was like, hey, it doesn't bother you or this and that, because I don't want to I've always thought I'm not going to put my family in financial burden because I'm trying to do something and I'm not even sure it's going to work. And the one thing my wife did tell me, she goes, you know what you got to pay, you know what you got to do. And so it's crazy that one comment has always stuck to me to say, okay, I'm not going to spend if I can't do it. I'm not going to do something and say, oh, well, I'll pay the house late. You know what I mean? So there's stuff that, thankfully she's always supported in stuff that I do. And I've been blessed. I've been lucky that I've done good in my stuff. I've always think things through, and sometimes, it's a seasonal thing and doesn't work out or kind of fades off or whatever. And I've learned that, okay, it's time to move on and try something else. I love that.
Yeah, so it's good.
So we're coming up to the close of part 1. We're going to have you back for part 2 and keep this conversation going. But I like to give the audience wisdom of the week from our conversation. I think the gem that we talked about was early on in the episode. So the thing is don't wait for the market, everybody. Okay, the market is going to change, but not in the ways that you think it is. Right? There's opportunity in the market every day. So change your strategy to adapt to the market. As the market changes, don't wait for it to change to the conditions that you need to figure it out. And what is the best time to buy real estate?
Now.
Right now. Thanks, Jaime. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere around here, but hit it. And by all means, let us know what you want us to talk about. We'd love to, deliver value every week. Have a great time, and we'll see you soon.
Sponsored by Centavos. Keep more of your money.